When I tell you this movie was not what I expected at all, take sensationalism out of the equation, stick two guys in a room and have them talk for 90% of 90 minutes of a movie, you've got Nefarious. What's going on, people? Alex Thorn here, and I'm just a rock and roller who in his downtime likes to watch movies while wearing a bandana. And this is the part where I usually talk about becoming a subscriber and liking and commenting down below. But I actually want to talk about becoming a member of this channel first, because this review today is the very first member requested review. And we're going to check out what Danny G, member of this channel, a longtime member of this channel, said about me possibly reviewing this movie.
Hey Alex, what's up? It's your boy, I'm Danny G. Just wanted to make a video, man. I wanted to use my Thorn membership, my premium membership, day one power, right? To have you review a movie for me. I want you to check it out. The movie's called Nefarious. Now, it's probably not the type of possession movie that you're used to, right? It's a little bit slower paced, it's more dialogue. But I think it's really cool, it's really interesting. I want to see what you think about it. I like the movie so much, I actually got the book as well that relates to the movie. You'll see why when you watch it. I highly recommend it. So put that bandana on, brother. Watch that movie. Let me know what you think.
Now that's pretty cool. If you want to start requesting your own reviews from me on this channel, you got to join this channel's memberships, and we'll talk more about that at the end. But right now, much like this movie, we need to start talking about Nefarious. On the day of his scheduled execution, a convicted serial killer tells a psychiatrist that he's a demon who can possess his body. As the evaluation ends, he also tells the doctor that he will soon commit 3 murders. When I first heard about this movie, I thought that it sounded like a great concept, but I did not know that 90% of the movie, if not 95% of the movie, was going to take place with just these two guys at a table talking about theology and a lot of stuff from this world. Those two people talking are Sean Patrick Flannery, who plays Edward Wayne, and Jordan Belfi, who plays Dr. James Martin. Now, there are other people that trickle into this movie here and there, but they are there for like 2 minutes, and then it's right back to these guys. And then 20 or 30 minutes later, somebody will pop in there for another 3-minute stretch, and it's right back to James and Edward. And just off the bat, I want to tell you my impressions of James, the psychiatrist in this movie. Very clean cut, very much looks like my neck of the woods, like he would be somebody from downtown here in Chicago, walking around with his nice blue sports jacket and white shirt, very nice hair, clean shaven, all that stuff. He fits the bill. Now, as this movie goes on, he's a little bland, but I wouldn't expect him to be any other way, to be honest with you. Then on the other side, we have Mr. Death Row himself, inmate Edward. And Edward has done some heinous things, done a lot of killing. And in the beginning of the movie, we see somebody pretty much convinced that they need to off themselves, and they do. And that's when we get to the prison and the scene that lasts throughout the entire movie with these two guys. Edward apparently convinced his last psychiatrist, who has the power to send him to the chair, which is his choice, or has the power to say that he's insane and he cannot be executed. Therefore, he has to live his days in the prison, which the demon does not want. So Edward, of course, would prefer to live, but the demon wants Edward to die so he can inhabit somebody else's body. And it's very intriguing. This is what Edward tells James. I want you to do me a favor, and I want you to let this execution go through. And it's interesting because most deaths happen now by lethal injection, which James mentions, but the demon said, no, I chose the electric chair because what better way to cross over than with so much pain? And he starts to tell him how it's gonna go and how it's gonna end in gruesome detail. I'm assuming this movie's R rating, now that I just said gruesome detail, is because of the subject matters and the way the demon speaks of these things, because there's nothing gruesome going on in the movie. There's no kills, there's no sensationalism, there's nobody flying through the air, there's not a bunch of blood splattering everywhere despite this guy who's a killer. None of that. It's all very talk driven, and the entire movie is about captivating you with these two people. One is an atheist and James a psychiatrist, and the other one is a demon who is pretty spot on about theology. But when I heard what the demon Nefarious was speaking about in this movie, it was actually kind of cool. Now I gotta admit, if I saw this in the theaters, I might be bored to tears, but since I saw it here in Thorn Theater itself, I was actually intrigued. And then I love the fact that at one point Nefarious says, you think because you're an atheist it'll save you because you don't have a belief in either one? That just means you're easier to bring onto our side. Thought that was great. There's also another detail in the movie that I thought that was really good, when the demon absolutely refuses to refer to Jesus Christ as Jesus Christ. He keeps calling him a carpenter. Throughout the whole movie, he never actually says his name because it would hurt him to say the name. At one point, they do bring a priest in, and he's afraid of him. He doesn't like him, until he realizes that through the priest's own words, the priest has lost his way, has become more today, more socially acceptable about things, more open to things that he shouldn't be open to, but he is, because he's, living in society today and has taken, more into account things that are newer in research, but aren't the actual way. So then the demon is just like, you know what? You don't even truly believe in what you are supposed to believe in. You're not even the threat that I thought you were. You're just as lost as everybody else. You're fine. I'm done with you. Get out of here. Moments like that are pretty cool. Now, I will get to this part before I get to the rating, which is the demon says to James, I want a favor from you. And that favor is you are going to write my story, essentially writing the anti-Bible. And he wants him to write this story, even though by the end, there is a book called A Nefarious Plot, as you saw Danny hold up. But that's not the book that the demon wants James to write. So with all that being said, let's get to the bandana rating for Nefarious. And I'm gonna give Nefarious 3 bandanas out of 5. I understand why this wouldn't be for everybody. Hell, if I saw this in the theaters, I might be agitated that I just spent money to watch 2 people in a room talking, and that's it. When, maybe I was hyped up to go see something else to happen in this movie, similar to what I painted imagery-wise. But the fact that I'm giving it 3 bandanas means that it's not a bad movie at all. Does it lack variation? Yes, it does. Is it a little bit on the boring side? Yes, it can be. But is it good? Yes, it's not bad. So, and I like everything that's explored in it. I dug it. I thought the performances are pretty decent, especially Edward. He does a great job. James, he's the other half of it, but Edward makes up for it. And then everybody else who's in it is fine. I couldn't believe that this movie came out in theaters. I'm assuming it was a limited run just because, again, there's not much happening here. But if you've seen Nefarious, let's talk down below and see what you think about it. Were there any hard-hitting things that they talked about that you didn't like? Are you religious and you agreed or disagreed with what the demon was doing? What did you think of the portrayal of possession in this movie? And I gotta ask you guys this question. Do you think Edward was faking it? And if you want to request your own reviews and send in a video and be featured on this very channel, you know what you gotta do. You gotta join this channel's memberships. That's right, Thorn Theater has real deal membership laminated cards for all of you Thornaholics out there and horror lovers. Not only that, but you get to request your own reviews. Let's say there's something out there you're really dying for me to review, but the masses may not want it, or it's not something that's gonna move the numbers. Guess what? You pay. You control the narrative. You get early access to videos, live only chats, as well as exclusive watch alongs just for members right here on this channel. And if you don't feel like committing to that, you can always give me a super chat, super thanks, or buy me a coffee. Buy me a coffee right now is a way that you can support somebody like me for making videos just for you guys, doing what we love to do. But guess what? If you buy me a coffee, at least you're fueling the journey. And right now, Buy Me a Coffee has an update to where when you leave your note of why you have gifted me coffee, I can respond back to you in video form. Guys, once again, thank you for tuning in to Thorn Theater Reviews. Thank you to Danny for requesting this review and sending in a video. And thank you for watching this review, liking this video, and hopefully commenting what you thought about Nefarious, or if you're gonna watch Nefarious now that you've seen this review. I'm Alex Thorn, and you know what I gotta do. I gotta rock out, watch some movies, and review.